A quiet suburban street. Morning sunlight cuts through the trees. A black Mercedes rolls slowly through the neighborhood. Inside, a well-dressed black man drives calmly, one hand on the wheel. Everything is peaceful. Suddenly, police sirens. Flashing lights fill the mirror. The Mercedes pulls over. Officer Cooper steps out of his patrol car slowly, like a man who owns the street. He adjusts his belt, rolls his neck, takes his time walking to the car. He taps the window hard, once. The window rolls down. The man inside looks up, calm, composed, not a trace of fear. That seems to bother Cooper immediately. Cooper leans down and looks the man up and down. Then he smiles, the kind of smile that has nothing friendly in it. Cooper said, "Well, haven't seen your face around here before." The man said, "Good morning, officer. Is there a problem?" Cooper ignores the question. He looks into the back seat, looks at the dashboard, looks everywhere except at the man's eyes. Cooper said, "Where you headed?" The man said, "Work. I just moved into this neighborhood." Cooper straightens up, looks around the street, then back at the man. A slow nod, like something just confirmed what he already thought. Cooper said coldly, "Moved in? Here? In this neighborhood?" The man said firmly, "Is that a crime, officer?" Cooper leaned back down and dropped his voice, said, "I haven't seen your kind around here before." A beat of silence. The man in the car goes very still. He turns and looks directly at Cooper. Not with anger, with something worse, clarity. The man said quietly, "My kind." Cooper said, shrugging, "You know what I mean." The man said, "No, I don't." "Say what you mean, officer." Cooper's jaw tightens. He does not like this. He does not like that this man is not afraid. He straightens up, and his whole posture shifts, from arrogant to aggressive. Cooper said, "Step out of the vehicle." The man said, "On what grounds?" Cooper said, "I am not going to ask you twice." The man said, measured and deliberate, "Officer, I have not broken any traffic law. You have not run my plates. You have no probable cause. You have no legal right to remove me from this vehicle. So I will ask you again, on what legal grounds are you asking me to step out?" Cooper's face goes red. His hand moves to his belt. Cooper said, hissing, "You people always think you know the law." The man said slowly, "You people." He lets those two words sit in the air like smoke. The man said slowly, "You don't know who I am right now, officer, but I promise you, by the end of today, you are going to look back at this moment, and you are going to wish you had driven right past me." Cooper laughed, short, dismissive. Cooper said, "Get out of the car." The man steps out slowly, with complete dignity, like a man who knows he is in the right and has the patience to prove it. Cooper grabs his arm and spins him around. Cooper said loudly, "Hands behind your back, now." The man said calmly, "This is unlawful. I want that on record." Cooper said, Yeah, you can say that to the judge." Cooper snaps the handcuffs on, too tight, deliberately too tight. He leans into the man's ear, voice dropping to something ugly and private. Cooper said low and sneering, "This neighborhood, these houses, these streets, they belong to people who belong here, not to people like you. The sooner you understand that, the easier your life gets." The man says nothing for a moment. He looks straight ahead. The street is quiet. Birds are still singing like nothing is happening. Then very quietly, he speaks. The man said, "You just made the biggest mistake of your career, officer. I tried to warn you." Cooper shoved him toward the patrol car and said, "Save it." The man said one last time over his shoulder, "You will remember this moment for the rest of your life." Cooper slams the patrol car door. The patrol car pulls into Southwest Division Police Station. Morning shift. Officers moving around. Coffee, paperwork, radio chatter. Cooper walks the man through the front door, handcuffed, suit slightly wrinkled now, but still carrying himself like he owns the room. A few officers glance up. Something about the man makes them look twice. They look at Cooper, then back at the man, then back at Cooper. Cooper tosses his keys on the counter and addresses the desk officer. Cooper said loud and proud, "Book him, resisting arrest, obstruction." The desk officer looked at the man and said, "Name?" The man said clearly and calmly, "Marcus Hayes." The desk officer's fingers freeze over the keyboard. He looks up slowly. His face does something complicated. Cooper said impatiently, "Something wrong?" The desk officer said carefully, "Cooper, I think you should." Cooper said, "Just book him, Jenkins. I don't have all day." Every screen in the station lights up simultaneously. An official department-wide email, automatically pushed to every terminal in the building. One by one, officers stop what they are doing. They read. Faces shift. Eyes move from the screen to the handcuffed man standing at the desk. Jenkins reads it twice. Then he slowly turns around to face Cooper. Jenkins said very quietly, "Cooper, you need to read this." Cooper walked over, irritated, and said, "What now?" He looks at the screen. From Los Angeles Police Department, Headquarters. To all personnel, Southwest Division. Subject, new commanding officer, effective immediately. It is with great pride that LAPD Headquarters announces the appointment of Captain Marcus D. Hayes as the new commanding officer of Southwest Division. Captain Hayes brings 18 years of distinguished service, multiple commendations for excellence, and an unblemished record of integrity and leadership. Captain Hayes will assume full command of Southwest Division, effective this morning. Please extend every courtesy and cooperation to your new commanding officer. The station goes completely silent. Cooper stares at the screen, reads it again and again. Slowly, very slowly, he turns around. Marcus Hayes is standing at the desk, handcuffed, suit wrinkled, looking directly at Cooper with an expression that is not angry, not triumphant, just patient, like a man who knew this moment was coming the entire time. Cooper said barely a whisper, "No." Hayes said quietly, "Yes." Cooper's face drains of color. His mouth opens. Nothing comes out. Hayes said to Jenkins, "Would you mind removing these handcuffs, please?" Jenkins moves immediately. The handcuffs come off. Hayes straightens his jacket, adjusts his cuffs, rolls his shoulders back. He reaches into his inside jacket pocket and produces his badge. Polished, official. He holds it up so Cooper can see it clearly. Captain Marcus D. Hayes. Cooper looks at it like a man looking at his own verdict. Hayes sets his badge on the desk and looks around the room. Every officer is watching. Nobody moves. Nobody speaks. The whole station is holding its breath. Hayes said calm and commanding, "My name is Captain Marcus Hayes, and as of this morning, this is my division." He begins to walk slowly through the station, not rushed, every step deliberate. Hayes said, "I have spent 18 years wearing this badge. 18 years of working twice as hard to earn half the respect. 18 years of watching good officers do their jobs with honor, and watching bad officers hide behind their uniform to do something else entirely." He stops, turns to face Cooper directly. Hayes said low and steady, "Officer Cooper, in the last 40 minutes you pulled over an innocent man with no probable cause. You used racially charged language twice. You applied excessive force during an unlawful arrest. And you used your badge not to protect someone, but to threaten them. Cooper opens his mouth. Hayes said firmly, "I am not finished." Cooper closes his mouth. Hayes said, "Everything that happened on that street this morning was captured. My dashcam, running the entire time. Every word you said, every word I said, all of it on record." The color completely leaves Cooper's face. Hayes said, "You told me I didn't belong in that neighborhood. You told me my kind wasn't welcome there." He takes one step closer to Cooper. Hayes said, quiet and direct, "Officer Cooper, I bought a house in that neighborhood 6 weeks ago. I will raise my children on that street, and I will drive through it every single morning on my way to this station, your station, my station, for as long as I choose to serve." A long silence. Hayes turned to the room and said, "This badge is not a weapon. It is not a license to judge. It is a responsibility to every human being, regardless of the color of their skin or the neighborhood they live in." He turns back to Cooper one final time. Hayes said, "Badge, weapon, now." Cooper's hands are shaking. Slowly he unpins his badge, unholsters his weapon, places them both on the desk. Cooper said, broken, "Sir, I didn't know who you were. I swear I—" Hayes cut him off and said firmly, but not unkindly, "That is exactly the problem, Cooper. You should have treated me with respect, whether I was a captain or a janitor. The badge on your chest was supposed to mean something. You turned it into something else." Cooper stares at the floor. Hayes said, "You are suspended pending full internal investigation. Leave the building." Cooper picks up his keys, walks toward the door. The room watches in silence. He stops at the door and does not turn around. Cooper said, barely audible, "I'm sorry." Hayes said, "Go home, Cooper." The door closes. Hayes stands in the middle of the station. He looks around at his officers, all of them watching, waiting, listening. He picks up his badge from the desk, pins it back onto his chest. Hayes said, "All right, my name is Captain Hayes.